Picture this. Millions of viewers tune in every Thursday night, eagerly awaiting their weekly dose of laughter. At the center of it all stands a woman with honey blonde hair and an infectious smile, delivering lines that would become cultural touchstones. Jennifer Aniston became America's sweetheart through her portrayal of Rachel Green, but what happened when the cameras stopped rolling? Behind that radiant smile lies a tapestry woven with threads of heartbreak, resilience, and secrets that Hollywood's golden facade has carefully concealed. For over 3 decades, Jennifer has been a master of deflection, turning interviews into lighthearted banter while keeping her deepest wounds hidden from public view. The woman who taught us about friendship, love, and finding yourself in your 20s was simultaneously fighting battles that would have broken lesser spirits. Every red carpet appearance, every magazine cover, every cheerful talk show interview served as armor against questions she wasn't ready to answer. Tonight, we're pulling back the curtain on a story that's far more complex than any sitcom plot, a journey through triumph and tragedy that reveals the real woman behind one of television's most beloved characters. This isn't just another celebrity biography. It's a testament to human resilience in the face of unimaginable scrutiny. February 11th, 1969. Sherman Oaks welcomed a baby girl who would one day capture hearts worldwide. But Jennifer's origin story reads more like a Greek tragedy than a fairy tale. Born to soap opera actor John Aniston and model-turned-actress Nancy Dow, she inherited not just the spotlight gene, but also a legacy of complicated family dynamics that would shape her entire approach to relationships. The Aniston household was a pressure cooker of competing ambitions and cultural clashes. John's Greek heritage brought passion and volatility, while Nancy's perfectionist American ideals demanded constant self-improvement. Young Jennifer found herself caught between 2 worlds, trying to please parents who could barely please themselves. Imagine growing up where your father's emotional absence was punctuated by explosive arguments, and your mother's love came with a constant critique of your appearance, your behavior, your very existence. Nancy Dow wasn't intentionally cruel. She was a product of her own generation's impossible standards for women. But her well-meaning advice felt like daily rejections to a sensitive child desperate for unconditional acceptance. The house became a stage where young Jennifer learned her first and most lasting role: the entertainer, the peacekeeper, the child who believed that making others laugh could somehow hold her fragmenting world together. She developed an almost supernatural ability to read a room's emotional temperature and adjust her performance accordingly. When her parents' marriage finally crumbled like a house of cards, 9-year-old Jennifer experienced her first major abandonment. Her father didn't just leave her mother. He vanished from her daily life, creating a void that no amount of success would ever completely fill. The man who should have been her first example of unconditional male love became instead a lesson in how quickly security could disappear. Left primarily with Nancy, Jennifer's adolescence became a masterclass in conditional love. Every mirror became a critic, every camera a judge, every interaction an audition for approval. Nancy's relentless focus on physical appearance wasn't born from vanity. It was born from a generation that taught women their worth was inseparable from their looks. But for Jennifer, these lessons planted seeds of insecurity that would bloom into lifelong struggles with self-image and perfectionism. Fast forward to a young woman in her early 20s, chasing dreams in the unforgiving landscape of Hollywood. While her peers were discovering college life, fraternity parties, and the luxury of uncertainty about their futures, Jennifer was navigating a far harsher education in rejection, perseverance, and survival. Picture her pedaling through Los Angeles traffic as a bike messenger, her future fortune seemingly as distant as the Hollywood sign on a smoggy day. The irony wasn't lost on her. Here she was, literally delivering messages between the powerful players of an industry that wouldn't return her calls. She answered phones as a telemarketer, her acting training helping her sound convincing while selling products she couldn't afford. She served endless cups of coffee to strangers in restaurants, watching successful actors discuss their next projects while she calculated whether she could afford both dinner and rent. The audition circuit became her second full-time job. Waiting rooms filled with dozens of women who looked just like her, all competing for roles that often lasted mere minutes of screen time. The rejection letters piled up like autumn leaves, each one a small death of hope that required resurrection for the next day's auditions. Her first significant role came in the form of Leprechaun, a horror comedy so memorably bad that it would later become her personal scarlet letter. Years later, she would joke about wanting to buy every copy and destroy them. But at the time, it represented hope, proof that someone, somewhere, believed she could carry a film, even if that film involved a murderous Irish sprite terrorizing teenagers. The television landscape of the early 1990s chewed up and spat out countless hopeful actors. Jennifer found herself trapped in what industry insiders called development hell, landing roles in promising pilots that never made it to air, or shows that premiered with fanfare only to disappear after a handful of episodes. Malloy, Ferris Bueller, and other forgotten projects became footnotes in what felt like a career obituary written in real time. After 4 television shows crashed and burned, depression crept in like fog rolling over the Santa Monica Mountains. Then came that fateful encounter at a gas station with NBC executive Warren Littlefield. Sometimes destiny wears the disguise of coincidence, and sometimes salvation comes from breaking down in front of exactly the right stranger at exactly the right moment. Through tears of frustration and exhaustion, she poured out her heart to this man who happened to hold keys to her future. September 22nd, 1994. A new sitcom premiered that would redefine television comedy forever and transform 6 relatively unknown actors into global superstars. But here's the twist that few people know. Jennifer Aniston almost wasn't Rachel Green, and Rachel Green almost wasn't the character we fell in love with. The original audition process was a comedy of errors worthy of a sitcom plot itself. Jennifer auditioned for Monica Geller, the neat freak chef, while Courtney Cox tried out for Rachel, the spoiled runaway bride. The producers saw something different in each woman, a chemistry that couldn't be scripted, only discovered. In Jennifer, they found someone who could make privilege likable and vulnerability strong. But here's the decision that changed television history. When Saturday Night Live offered Jennifer a spot as a cast member, comedy's holy grail, the launching pad for careers like Eddie Murphy, Tina Fey, and countless others, she turned it down for an untested sitcom about 6 friends in New York. Industry experts called it career suicide. Jennifer called it instinct. The first season of Friends was lightning in a bottle, but it was the second season that made Jennifer Aniston a cultural phenomenon. The Rachel haircut became more than a hairstyle. It became a symbol of 1990s femininity, copied by millions of women worldwide. Salons across America saw customers clutching magazine photos demanding to look like Rachel Green. For 10 years, Jennifer inhabited Rachel's world while building her own empire behind the scenes. She watched her character evolve from a spoiled daddy's girl into a complex woman navigating love, career, motherhood, and friendship. The parallels to her own life weren't lost on her. Art imitating life imitating art in an endless feedback loop. The show's success created opportunities, but also a golden cage. Those final seasons brought her an unprecedented $1 million per episode, making her and her female co-stars the highest-paid television actresses in history. But more than money, Friends gave her something invaluable, a chosen family that would outlast any romantic relationship. The cast's negotiation strategy was revolutionary. Instead of competing against each other for individual raises, they stood together, demanding equal pay and profit participation. Yet success came with a price. While Rachel Green brought joy to millions, Jennifer often felt trapped by the character's shadow, yearning to prove her range beyond romantic comedies and perfect hair. Directors saw Rachel Green when they looked at her, not Jennifer Aniston, the actress. Breaking free from that perception would become one of her greatest professional challenges. The cultural impact of Friends extended far beyond entertainment. Jennifer and her castmates influenced fashion, language, and lifestyle choices for an entire generation. The show's depiction of friendship as chosen family resonated with millions who were redefining what relationships could look like in modern society. Enter Brad Pitt, 1998. A blind date arranged by agents who probably never imagined they were orchestrating one of entertainment's most scrutinized romances. The setup was pure Hollywood. Two of the industry's rising stars, both devastatingly attractive, both at the peak of their careers. What could go wrong? Their first meeting sparked immediate chemistry. Brad later described it as being struck by lightning, while Jennifer spoke of feeling like she'd met her match. They shared similar Midwestern values despite their Hollywood success, both grounded by families who kept them connected to their roots. Their courtship unfolded like a romantic comedy. Private dinners, long walks on beaches, and conversations that lasted until dawn. For 5 years, they reigned as Hollywood royalty, the couple everyone wanted to be. Their July 2000 wedding was a spectacular affair. $1 million Malibu celebration that read like a fairy tale. 50,000 flowers, a gospel choir, and a guest list that included the biggest names in entertainment. Jennifer wore a glass-beaded Lawrence steel gown that sparkled like starlight, while Brad looked like he couldn't believe his luck. They seemed untouchable, building Plan B entertainment together, supporting each other's careers, and navigating fame as a united front. Brad appeared on Friends in a memorable Thanksgiving episode, playing a character who despised Rachel Green, their real-life chemistry making the fictional animosity even funnier. But beneath the glossy magazine covers and red carpet appearances, cracks were forming. The pressure of being Hollywood's golden couple was suffocating. The year 2005 shattered their perfect image like glass hitting concrete. While filming Mr. and Mrs. Smith, Brad discovered a connection with Angelina Jolie that transcended professional collaboration. The movie's premise, a married couple discovering they're both assassins hired to kill each other, became an uncomfortable metaphor for what was happening behind the scenes. Jennifer found herself cast in a role she never auditioned for. The abandoned wife, the woman scorned, the victim of Hollywood's most public affair. The tabloid narrative was cruel and simplistic. The devoted wife versus the exotic homewrecker. The girl next door versus the dangerous siren. Neither portrayal captured the complexity of the situation or the real people involved. The media circus that followed their divorce announcement was unprecedented. Photographers camped outside their homes, analyzed their body language at public events, and turned every sighting into front-page news. Team Jennifer versus Team Angelina became a cultural phenomenon, with fans and media choosing sides in a drama none of them truly understood. Jennifer had to watch Brad and Angelina become Brangelina, adopting children and building the family she had longed for. The cruelest part wasn't the divorce itself. It was having to perform normalcy while grieving privately. Jennifer had to smile on red carpets, give cheerful interviews, and maintain her image as America's sweetheart while her personal life crumbled in full public view. Between Brad and her next serious relationship, Jennifer navigated the treacherous waters of dating in the spotlight. Every dinner companion became tabloid fodder. Every friendship was analyzed for romantic potential. She dated musician John Mayer, whose public comments about their relationship felt like another betrayal. She was linked to actors, directors, and even athletes, each rumor adding another layer to her public persona as Hollywood's most eligible bachelorette. Then came Justin Theroux, director, screenwriter, and a man whose artistic sensibilities matched Jennifer's evolving interests. Their relationship began differently from the Brad Pitt fairy tale. This was love born from friendship, respect, and shared values rather than overwhelming passion and media attention. Justin brought a different energy to Jennifer's life. He was less traditionally Hollywood, more interested in art and authenticity than fame and fortune. Their courtship was refreshingly normal. Dinners at small restaurants, walks through New York neighborhoods, conversations about books and films rather than box office numbers and publicity strategies. Their 2015 wedding was everything the Brad Pitt celebration wasn't. Intimate, private, and focused on the people who mattered rather than the people who paid attention. Only 70 guests attended, including her friends, family, and close personal friends. For a brief moment, it seemed like Jennifer had found her happily ever after. She and Justin appeared genuinely happy, supporting each other's projects and building a life that balanced public careers with private contentment. But even this more mature approach to love couldn't overcome fundamental incompatibilities. By 2017, they had quietly separated, announcing their divorce with a joint statement that emphasized respect and continued friendship. Unlike the Brad Pitt debacle, this ending was handled with grace and dignity, but it left Jennifer facing uncomfortable questions about her ability to sustain long-term partnerships. Perhaps no topic has generated more speculation, cruelty, and outright invasion of privacy than Jennifer's childlessness. For over 2 decades, the media played a relentless guessing game. Was she pregnant? Was she choosing career over family? Was she secretly heartbroken? Every red carpet appearance became a fertility watch. Every relationship analyzed for its baby-making potential. The truth, revealed only in recent years, cuts deeper than any tabloid theory could imagine. Jennifer spent her 30s and 40s in a private war with infertility, trying everything from multiple rounds of IVF treatments to acupuncture, Chinese herbal remedies, and every fertility diet that promised hope. Each negative pregnancy test felt like another door closing, another month of failure, another reminder that her body wouldn't cooperate with her heart's deepest desire. The cruelest irony was the public's reaction to her childlessness. While she suffered in silence, the world judged her choices, painting her as selfish, career-obsessed, or simply broken. Magazine covers speculated about her empty life, as if professional success could never compensate for biological failure. Opinion pieces questioned her femininity, her completeness as a woman, her very purpose in life. Every time she appeared happy or successful, critics suggested she was overcompensating for her lack of children. Every time she seemed sad or tired, they blamed her childlessness for her obvious misery. She couldn't win, couldn't be successful enough to justify her choices, or vulnerable enough to satisfy their assumptions about her regrets. The silence around her struggles was partly protective. She didn't owe the public explanation for her private life, but partly shame-based. Society's message to women was clear. Successful career women who prioritized work over family would inevitably face consequences. Jennifer internalized these messages, wondering if her ambition had cost her the thing she wanted most. Her revelation about these struggles has been liberating for countless women facing similar battles. By speaking openly about IVF, miscarriages, and the grief of unfulfilled motherhood, she's helped normalize conversations that were once whispered in doctors' offices and support groups. The 2010s brought a different Jennifer Aniston, one who had survived public humiliation, private heartbreak, and professional pigeonholing to emerge stronger and more authentically herself. The morning show wasn't just a career move. It was a statement of artistic intent, a declaration that she was ready to be seen as more than America's sweetheart. Her portrayal of Alex Levy, a morning show host navigating scandal and reinvention, felt deeply personal. The character's struggle with aging in a youth-obsessed industry, her fight for relevance in a changing media landscape, and her complex relationships with other women resonated with Jennifer's own experiences. The role earned her critical acclaim and industry recognition that validated her range beyond romantic comedies. The $1.25 million per episode salary for the morning show reflected not just market value, but artistic worth. As both star and executive producer, Jennifer had creative control that she'd never experienced before. She could tell stories that mattered to her, hire diverse voices, and challenge industry norms from a position of power. The reconciliation with her mother Nancy, achieved shortly before Nancy's death in 2016, brought bittersweet closure to their complicated relationship. Jennifer's current perspective on marriage and relationships reflects hard-won wisdom rather than cynicism. She's open to love, but uninterested in walking down the aisle again. "Never say never," she tells interviewers, "but I have no interest." This isn't bitterness. It's clarity about what she needs and what she's willing to give. She's become an advocate for women's health issues, speaking openly about fertility struggles and the pressure women face to have it all. Her honesty about therapy, self-care, and the work required to maintain mental health has helped destigmatize conversations about psychological wellness in an industry that often prizes image over authenticity. Today, at 56, Jennifer Aniston has transformed from America's sweetheart into something more valuable, America's survivor and truth-teller. She no longer performs happiness for public consumption, but shares her authentic self, flaws and all. The difference is profound and inspiring. Her friendships, particularly with her friends' castmates, remain a cornerstone of her life. They've weathered decades together, supporting each other through divorces, career changes, and personal growth. She's found peace with childlessness, no longer viewing it as failure, but as one path among many. Being an aunt figure to her friends' children. Family, she's learned, isn't defined only by biology. Jennifer's story reminds us that behind every smile on screen lies a complex human being fighting battles we may never see. Her journey, from broken child to struggling actress to global icon to authentic adult, offers hope to anyone who's ever felt defined by their worst moments rather than their resilience. In a world obsessed with perfection, she's chosen authenticity. In an industry built on youth, she's embracing the power of experience. And in a life marked by public heartbreak, she's found private peace that no tabloid can disturb. Sometimes the most powerful performance happens when the cameras stop rolling, when the mask comes off, and when the real person finally feels safe to be seen. If you enjoyed the video, please help our channel grow and like and subscribe. We hope to see you again soon.